I wanted them to be able to see the art and be just like emotionally attached to it. When they go home with it, they can sit back and say, man, that was an amazing night. Like United won the game. It was an amazing tailgate. And now we have this piece to like remember that by. And while it's hanging in their home, hopefully like maybe on a bad day, they can look back and then be, man, that was a great day. My name is Brett Kennedy, a visual artist here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was originally born in Shiprock, New Mexico. Currently, I go by the artist name Sokwa. I've been making art for the past 15 years, primarily painting for the last 10. You know, I really didn't get into art until I was in college. I did draw and kind of dabble in my youth, but while I was in college, I actually did a lot of printmaking. I did a lot of sculpture work. Didn't do a lot of painting actually. And once I graduated and lost the use of those facilities, I had to find a way to keep kind of creating my vision, and eventually found my home in painting. And I think over the course of 10 years, I finally found the message I'm trying to get across. The aesthetic, the colors, the line work, it's finally starting to hit its stride. I'm fascinated with bold colors, and then finding a way to organize all that with like a very bright and sharp black line work. And if I can do that well, then I've found the way. Yeah, so originally I'm from Shiprock, New Mexico. I'm half Chippewa Indian. I'm also half Anglo, but I moved out to Albuquerque probably before I was 3 years old. My mother was adopted by Navajo Indians, so I was shared a different culture than my own, blood-wise. And so more recently, in the last few years, I've tried to kind of reach out and establish connections to that culture. And I found it very interesting that my art really resembled a lot of the Chippewa artists out there today. There is a lot of bold black line use. There's these very kind of like basic backgrounds, but then intricate colors kind of weaved in to make a character. It's really interesting that before I even really discovered that, I was already kind of doing it. So I started with just the background. So I painted the whole thing several times with a flat black mat. You know, I probably had to do 4 or 5 coats. So it's a little time consuming because you really do want it to be less transparent. From there, I use a like oil paint marker. And that's where I get these kind of like nice designs. And I think it harkens back a little bit to like native design, like line work you would see on pottery. And I've certainly found ones that I like more than others. And I've been able to weave them together, I think, to kind of make the images work out really well. From there, because the event's tied to New Mexico, you know, what better way to like symbolize our state than throw the Zia on there? And because it's like within our team colors, it really works out. That black and yellow looks really nice. So I kind of cemented that in there. Then from there, I kind of just really thought about what symbols best kind of speak to our state. And I won't go through all of them here, but I think that I've captured some of those elements. I think when people see them and recognize them, they'll be like, yeah, this is definitely New Mexico. Like, this can't be any other place. This is home. And then kind of as we discussed earlier, I didn't want to make the players be any particular player. Like, this is us. This is us in a nutshell. This is their state. This is our state. And this is who we are. So I've started kind of picking up certain elements in my drawings. I really like kind of drawing eyes and mouths. And I think it really works with the cactuses. It kind of gives them character, kind of does make them feel like living entities. And I mean, certainly they are, but I think this just kind of like further pushes that they're living beings, and they're part of us. They're part of this culture. So we have the cholla cactus, and I'm probably gonna pronounce this wrong, but the Sokwa cactus. So they're much taller than ours, and then these get more bushy and tree-like. So they are like way different. So I think that trying to capture some of that difference, like these are thinner and kind of longered out. These ones are bushy. I think kind of really helps with the contrast of the two. We both come from the desert, but like we're different deserts. I think it was really with the color during the games when they let off the like color bombs and stuff. Like I was really trying to capture some of that color that kind of gets dispersed through the stadium. And I find that probably most interesting because it just seems like that's when the real hype starts going and the crowd gets pumped. And I'm hoping that color kind of translates to like, when you see that color, like it's game time, it's time to go. And I hope that kind of really translates to people. I think the only thing I want to share is like, if you are an artist, just to keep making your art. And even if no one is supporting you, to just like like keep working on it, because there is a life to be had making art. You know, even if you're not necessarily selling art in the way I sell art, or you're a gallery artist, you can utilize those skills in so many different ways. And I hope that like younger people get those opportunities. You know, I certainly started later in life, but I'm doing it. So if you can kind of take it and do it while you're young, like it'll just be so much easier when you're my age.